यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की, श्री श्री गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, लक्ष्मीन्द्र संगदेव भगवान की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. In these verses, there is a promise that anyone who gives a submissive oral reception to the Srimad Bhagavatam class daily, all that is troublesome to our hearts will be destroyed by that regular recitation and hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class at New Vrindavan. I have been always hearing the glories of one famous devotee here, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Today I saw him here. So I was yesterday telling you in the class how neatly this temple is being maintained, because everybody here is always thinking about how to please Srila Prabhupada and keep this temple very attractive for all the visitors to come and take darshan and get inspired and go. So this is one of the biggest projects in ISKCON society. Like we have Sridham Mayapur in India. Similarly, we have here New Vrindavan community, which Srila Prabhupada established here. More than 1,000 acres. And yesterday you all saw the Prabhupada Palace of Gold. So this is such a soothing environment, spiritually enlivening environment in the temple hall here. I wish to thank Jai Krishna Prabhu and all other members of this community who are making this project such a beautiful one, so that we all can come here, get nourished in our spiritual consciousness and go back and do wonderful preaching. So we will give them one Hari Bol for them. Hari Bol! So we are going to recite this particular verse, especially today, because today is called M.Sankranti. It's a very, very auspicious day. You will come to know why very soon. We will recite this verse. When I elaborate on this, I will speak more. Please all of you repeat. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Mati Rupa Kalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satpata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukham Upagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritim Upeyushi Yad Bhava Pravaha. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Idimati Rupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukam Upagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritim Upeyushi Yad Bhava Pravaha. Yes. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Mati Rupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Sadhukam Upagate Kvachit Vihartum Akritim Upeyushi Yad Bhava Pravaha. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Mati Rupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satpata Pungave Vibhumni Swasakam Upagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritim Upeyushi Yad Bhava Pravaha. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Mati Rupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satpata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukam Upagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritim Upeyushi Bhava Prabha. Matajis. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Mati Rupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavate Satpate Pungave Vibhomni Swasukamupagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritimubhe Yushiyat Bhava Pravaha. Sri Bhishma Uvacha. Sri Bhishma Deva said, Iti, thus, Matihi, thinking, feeling and willing, Upakalpita, invested, Vitrishna, freed from all sense desires, Bhagavati, unto the personality of Godhead, Sarpata Pungave, unto the leader of the devotees, Vibhumni, unto the great, Swasukham, self-satisfaction, Upagate, unto him who has attained it, Kvachit, sometimes, Vihartum, out of transcendental pleasure, Prakritim, in the material world, Upayushi, do accept it, Yad Bhava, from whom the creation, Pravaha, is made and annihilated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Bhishma Deva said, you all can repeat after me. Bhishma Deva said, let me now invest my thinking, feeling and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending on the material world. Although from him only the material world is created. So, this Srila Prabhupada purport is here. I request all of you to pay attention to the purport. Sometimes our mind switches off when it is being read. Therefore, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj once read a few lines and asked some questions. Then the audience said, we never thought you will ask questions. You should have told us in the beginning. Huh? So now only I have told you. I may ask a question. So you can be attentive, okay? Because Bhishma Deva was a statesman, the head of the Kuru dynasty, a great general and the leader of Kshatriyas, his mind was strewn over so many subjects, and his thinking, feeling and willing were engaged in different matters. Now, in order to achieve pure devotional service, he wanted to invest all powers of thinking, feeling and willing entirely in the Supreme Being, Lord Sri Krishna. He is described herein as a leader of the devotees and all-powerful. Although Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, he himself descends on earth to bestow upon his pure devotees the boon of devotional service. He descends sometimes as Lord Krishna as he is, and sometimes as Lord Chaitanya. Both are leaders of the pure devotees. Pure devotees of the Lord have no desire other than the service of the Lord, and therefore they are called Sattvata. The Lord is a chief amongst such Sattvatas. Bhishma Deva therefore had no other desires. Unless one is purified from all sorts of material desires, the Lord does not become one's leader. Desires cannot be wiped out, but they have only to be purified. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord himself that he gives his instruction from within the heart of a pure devotee who is constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. Such instruction is given not for any material purpose, but only for going back home, back to Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 10.10 Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. So from the ordinary man who wants to lord it over material nature, the Lord only sanctions and becomes a witness of activities, but he never gives the non-devotee instructions for going back to Godhead. That is the difference in dealings by the Lord with different living beings. both the devotee and non-devotee. He is the leader of all the living beings, as the king of the state rules both the prisoners and the free citizens. But his dealings are different in terms of devotee and non-devotee. Non-devotees never care to take any instruction from the Lord, and therefore the Lord is silent in their case, although he witnesses all their activities and awards them the necessary results, good or bad. The devotees are above this material goodness and badness. They are progressive on the path of transcendence, and therefore they have no desire for anything material. The devotee also knows Sri Krishna as the original Narayana, because Lord Sri Krishna, by his plenary portion, appears as the Karunadakashayi Vishnu, the original source of all material creation. The Lord also desires the association of his pure devotees, and for them only the Lord descends on the earth and enlivens them. The Lord appears out of his own will. He is not forced by the conditions of material nature. He is therefore described here as the Vibhu, or Almighty, for he is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. So what is so special today? Today is M.Sankranti, when Bhishma Pitama, the grandsire, is lying on an arrow bed, and he is going to depart from this world. Because the sun now enters the northern hemisphere, it will be moving up. It's called Uttarayan, we call it. And then later on, after June, July, you will see it is Dakshinayan. It goes down, now it will go up. So, during this time, if anyone leaves the body, during this Uttarayan period, it is said they don't come back in this world. Of course, Bhishma did not have to follow all those norms what a yogi is supposed to follow. He is a pure devotee. Nevertheless, he follows the norm as any yogi would follow. And his departure is not ordinary departure. It is very special, because as it is said here, the Supreme Lord Krishna, he deals with every living entity according to their mentality and mindset. There are three types of personalities you can see in this world amongst the living beings. There are those who are called Nastik, and then there are Astik, and then there are Bhaktas. Nastik means Na Asti, which means they think God doesn't exist. Astik means Asti. They are very firmly convinced. Like right now you cannot see the sun in the sky, but by looking at the light coming out of the window, you can confidently say that sun is there in the sky. Similarly, when you look at the world around, when you go to the garden, you find the sun shines, the cloud showers, crops grow, fruits fructify, flowers blossom, seasons change, wind blows, so many things are happening all around us. So any sane man can immediately understand, I'm not doing any of these things. It's all being done. And they are not done without a purpose. All these things are being done because without the sunshine and sunlight, we can't even survive. Without the shower of the water from the clouds, which is pure drinking water, we can't survive. We can't drink ocean water. Similarly, we can't survive without a platform on which we are sitting now. You can't live without the grains and the fruits and cereals and spices and everything. So you will see that everything is created with a purpose by a superior personality who is our well-wisher and nourisher and protector and maintainer. Any sane living entity will be convinced of this truth. Those who are insane, considering themselves as all in all and autonomous, they want to be the pivot of this world, and they want the whole world to revolve around them. And they want all other living entities to be at their beck and call. That type of mentality, those who have, they are called Nastik. Nastik has a very high estimation of himself, the atheist. So the atheists are asuras, and they have a tendency to try to dominate the living beings in this world. They want to lord over them, boss over them, and trouble others. In this way, they trouble others also, they get troubled also. You all might have heard about Hiranyakashipu. He troubled Prahlad and many other living beings, and he also ultimately got destroyed. Similarly, you see Kauravas headed by Duryodhana. he troubled the Pandavas so much, finally all the 100 Kauravas got destroyed. So these type of living entities who are asuric mentality, demoniac mentality, they lord over and dominate. So Lord is in their hearts also. But the Lord does not enlighten them about coming back to Godhead because they are not interested. Lord allows them a long rope to hang themselves. They will learn a good lesson and multiple lifetimes. But the beauty is, whether one is a demon or a devotee, if one encounters Krishna, Krishna ultimately does something auspicious for everybody. Like if a demon is killed by Krishna, the demon is liberated. If a devotee encounters Krishna, then the love of the devotee is enhanced and Lord and the devotee relish each other's association. So nothing inauspicious can come from Krishna. Like the Kurukshetra battlefield was a great battle because crores of warriors died in that battle. So one may think such a great mass massacre, horrible it is. But there are two verses in this section where Bhishma says, Tataiva chanye naraloka vira ya ahave Krishna mukharavindam netrai pibanto nayanaviramam parthastraputa padamapurasya. In that battlefield of Kurukshetra, all the warriors were watching the beautiful Lord Krishna, whose body was like a bluish sapphire. He was wearing a helmet and he had beautiful earrings. And he was wearing a dhoti which was shining like dazzling gold. And he became the charioteer of Arjuna. So his name is Partha Sarathi. He became Partha Sarathi, riding the chariot of Arjuna. And looking at the beauty of Lord Sri Krishna, all the warriors, they were preparing to start the battle. And Krishna told Arjuna that you take the bow and arrow and pierce the chest of these warriors. Like that Arjuna would send Partha Astra Puta. When those arrows will touch the chest of those warriors, they instantly became purified. Why? Because these arrows were ordered by Krishna. And Arjuna fulfilled Lord Krishna's instruction by fighting the battle. So they instantly became purified. And also they were glancing at Krishna. So imagine somebody's sinful reactions are eradicated and they are also looking at Lord Krishna. What will happen? Back to Godhead. Parthastra puta padam apurasya. They all went back to Godhead. Just like if you have a hot frying pan, you sprinkle some water, let it will absorb. Similarly, as soon as this divine arrow from Arjuna's bow was released, when it touched the warriors, that purified them. So the negative component was nullified. And then by glancing at Krishna with great affection, attraction, naturally they ascended back to Godhead. In this way, even the warriors got the benefit in the battle. So I told you three types of people: Nastik, Astik, Bhakta. Now I was telling about the Nastik now. Who are the Astik people? They are demigods. The demigods have a combined tendency of lording over material nature on one hand and wanting to serve the Lord on the other hand. They want to do both. And this is something very familiar to all of us. Why it's familiar? We also often find ourselves in those tendencies. Sometimes we find that, we wish to serve Krishna, but then along with that we also want to, little bit lord over. For example, one devotee invited a boy, can you please help in washing the pots there? So the boy went there to wash pots. While washing the plates, he saw that there are gulab jamuns. So he asked the manager, Prabhu, I will surely wash the plates, I don't mind doing it, but will I get gulab jamun? And the manager says, why not? Mahaprasad is surely will give you. There's nothing wrong in that, but you will see that sometimes we have an agenda in doing our service also. We may be willing to do service, but we have some agenda. Say for example, I tell a boy to go and give a lecture in a college. So 500 boys are sitting and he goes and gives the lecture. He will do it as a service. But sometimes back in the mind there is also feeling that I am a great hero. That's a feeling also. What is the problem with that? That is a little demoniac mentality. One time we had a program, big program, where about 1,000 boys had come. So the master of ceremony couldn't come. He is supposed to lead the whole program standing because he got stuck in the traffic. So he called me and then I told one another boy, I told him, see, that fellow is unable to come. Can you do it? He said, why not? I was always waiting for this invitation. So he came to the stage, he practically started dancing on the stage and taking the mic and cheering the audience and everything. And he thought this is the first time he is getting on the stage. He was very happy. Meanwhile, the traffic got dissolved and that fellow arrived. So that fellow came and said, I am here now. Just on time I reached. So then this boy was told that, please kindly you can get down and he will lead the stage. So he was feeling very bad about it. He said, I am going away. I am not going to attend the program because I am not the boss now anymore. So these are tendencies. You can appreciate what I am saying. Is it clear to you, or am I going too fast? Am I fast? I understand it, yeah. So we are trying to become devotees, but we are not yet pure devotees. So we have a mixture of lording over tendency and serving tendency. This is demigod tendency, we call it. And the pure devotees are the third category, bhaktas. As I told you, nastik, astik, bhakta. Bhaktas only want to serve. They have no lording over mentality. The demons only want to lord over. These fellows only want to lord over. These fellows only want to serve. And in between, they have a mixture of both tendencies. So, if you only want to lord over, lot of trouble. Life is full of trouble for us and others. And if you only want to serve, you will see such a devotee's heart is flooding with love for the Lord. Even if troubles come their way, the troubles don't touch them at all. Krishna says that in the third canto. Mai ananyena bhavena bhaktim kuruvanti ye dridham madarte tyakta karmanaha tyakta svajana bandavaha madashraya katamrishta shanvanti katayanti cha tapanti vividastapaha naitan madgata chetasa. Those devotees who with great bhava worship me, with great love, they worship me and serve me, they actually rise above all the materialistic mentalities. And when they serve me like this, although many troubles may come in their life, they don't touch them at all. They are aloof, they are oblivious to them. So, it's not that troubles won't be there, troubles will be there, but how to become oblivious is very important. For example, the jnanis and yogis, they try to get rid of lust, anger, greed, with great difficulty, and many times it is seen they may slip and fall back also. And they always have to be under threat of these impurities. Whereas the devotees of the Lord, if they are sincerely, seriously, in a one-pointed fashion practicing, they can become oblivious to these tendencies. I'll tell you an example, which will make it easy for you. There was one couple coming to Mangalarti in Pune temple, husband, wife. So husband was always telling me, after the Mangalarti, he would say, I had a very great time today. But the wife would be very morose. So I asked her, what is the matter? So they were coming in a bike to the temple. So because early morning in the dark, when they would come, sometimes there would be a pack of dogs on the way in India. Not like here. Here dogs are inside the houses. So, bow, 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 they would bark. So he would drive the scooter very fast. And some of the dogs would come behind, chase. And then the wife is the one sitting behind. She'll be afraid it will sometimes catch her sari also. So she was not happy coming in the morning, but husband insisted we both will go. They would come. So 1 year later, I saw they both were smiling happily. I asked, what happened now? You are no more fearful now? She said, no, we have got a car now. Although the same dogs chase us, I have no fear because they became oblivious to the chase of the dogs. So Bhakti Yoga is like that. Bhakti Yoga can completely envelop you in fond remembrance of the Lord, His pastimes, His activities, His beauty. All these things that they can make us oblivious to the world, material world we are living in, all around us. At the same time, if you are not developing a higher taste in spiritual life, then we will be surrounded by this lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, all these things, and they are going to chase us like dogs, and of course we will have to struggle hard to get rid of them. And always we will live in that fear. So, we also as devotees should have healthy fear. We don't say we have no fear, we should have healthy fear. But we should rise to the point of becoming oblivious. Dhruva Maharaj says that, bhaktim muhu prabhatam tvaime prasango. In that verse he says, Bhuyad ananta mahatam amalashayanam yenanta solbanamuru vyasanam bhavabdim. Neshe bhavad guna kathamrita panamatah. I am delighting in your Krishna katha. Therefore I became oblivious to the world, he says. Prahlad says the same thing. Tadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chitta. Because my chitta is magna in your lila katha virya. Therefore I am oblivious, he says completely. So, in this way, the pure devotees are oblivious to the material pangs in the material world. And they are very dear to the Lord, the pure devotees. Not that we are not dear, we are also dear, but we will become more dear if we become pure. And there is a reason for that. Why the pure devotees are so dear and not as so much? The reason is, imagine if somebody comes and praises you, oh, you look so smart, your hairstyle makes you look very cute and your dress is also very smart. And you say, thank you, and then they say, can you please give me $10,000? I have some expenditure. So you may say, oh, this is why you are praising me. And after a couple of months, if he comes to praise you, you will ask, what is your agenda now? Correct, no? So even we don't like people coming to us with some agenda, correct or not? On the other hand, you see when you are, when mom is cooking something and serving you, you can close your eyes and eat because she wants to see you nourished and happy. But when you go out anywhere, you are always very conscious. What is the content? Where are you getting it from and everything, isn't it? So you will see that where there is love, there is no fear, there is no kind of, distance. There is intimacy where there is love. So Lord can be very free with his pure devotees because he knows my pure devotees have no agenda. They don't want to enjoy the material world. They don't want relief from the material world. They don't want any powers to walk on water, fly on sky or anything like that. They simply love me from their hearts and they want to serve me. And even when I want to serve them in some way, they don't want any service from me. They only want to keep serving me. This love is completely pure and selfless. It is diametrically opposite to lust. Lust means enjoying mentality. Love means service mentality. So those devotees are very pure, and we all naturally are. Our goal of life is to aspire to become such pure devotees. And one such pure devotee is Bhishma Pitama. So there are 12 Mahajans, one of whom is Bhishma. Swayambhu Naradeshyamdasdevotionalvideos Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahalado Janako Bhishmo Balirvaya Sakirvaya Dvadashayete Vijanimo Dharman Bhagavatan Bhataha Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yajñatpa Amritamashnute. This was spoken by Yamaraj to his Yama servants. He told them, my dear sons, there are 12 great souls in this world who know the heart of Supreme Lord. If anybody want to know what is nature of Krishna, how to approach him, what is the method of attaining him, you should go to these 12 people. Who are they? Swayambhu means Brahma, Narada, Lord Shiva, 4 Kumaras, Prahalad, Janak Maharaj, Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, and Yamaraja. So 12 people. So now what is special about these 12 people? Guhyam, Vishuddham, Durbodham. The 3 words are used here. They know the confidential behavior of the Lord. Because what is confidential behavior? There is an external appearance of some action, but confidential action is different. Let me tell you an example. See, when we went to Vrindavan, there were 2 boys, they were thick friends. So one of them went to Giriraj Sweets and he purchased 2 boxes of Son Babdi. You all know Son Babdi? How many of you know Son Babdi? Yeah, oh, very good. Everybody knows. So when he purchased 2 boxes, his friend asked him, hey, I think you are purchasing 2, I think one for you, one for me, right? He said, who told you it's for you? He said, there's one for me, one for my uncle. He was telling. And they both just laughed it off. They went to Rome. After 5-6 days of yatra when they were going, so both of them were packing their suitcase. And that other boy, suddenly he found the box in his suitcase. So he asked his friend, you said this is for your uncle? How is it that it has come into my suitcase? He said, who is my uncle? You are my uncle, take it, he said. So he was just joking with him like this. So imagine if these two were not so intimate friends, one is purchasing 2 boxes and he may give to his friend. Other fellow will ask him, how much is the charge? Okay, it is $10, $5, okay, take it. He will say, it's all right, he will say, and then he will take the money also. Because the relationship is formal. How many of you appreciate the difference between formal behavior and informal behavior? Now what I said just now, correct? Yeah. So which one is more intimate? So similarly, Lord and the devotee, their dealing is very informal and very endearing. For example, one boy was asking in a program, why did Lord Baby Krishna go and steal the butter from others' homes? After all, he is God. He should set a good example. You should not steal. You should go and ask a gopi, please give me butter. That is the correct behavior. See, I told him, all the butter in the entire universe comes from Krishna only. He said, even if it comes from Krishna, currently it is in the custody of the gopi. You should ask and take it. He said. I said, my Lord, how to explain what is the Leela? So, what is Leela? Leela means a playful pastime. The very meaning of the word Leela means playful. And Lord playfully does things. That's why it says Vihartam, the word is used. Vihartam means Lord does things in a way that is very pleasing to His heart and the heart of the devotees also. And all those who hear about the pastime. It's very beautiful. That is the meaning of Leela. Mad bhakta vinodartam karomi vividaha kriyaha. In Padma Purana there is a statement. Lord says, Mad bhakta vinodartam, to please my devotees, karomi, I do, vividaha kriyaha. All my activities are very pleasing to my devotee. And that's how I do. I do my playful pastimes, he says. With each of these devotees, Lord did playful pastime. All these 12 Mahajans you will see. So, as far as Bhishma is concerned, Bhishma is a devotee. I told you, pure devotee. But Lord told Bhishma that when you come to this world, I will be on Pandavas' side and you should be on Kaurava's side. Imagine if you are told by the Lord that you should join the demons and I will be on devotee's side. What will you ask the Lord? My Lord, I am also your devotee. You should take me on which side? Pandava's side or Kaurava's side? Yeah, is it not true? How many of you would like to be on Pandava's side? Correct. Natural. Now, why did the Lord tell him to be on the other side? There is a reason. Because in the spiritual world, there are 5 prominent rasas, where the Lord associates with his pure devotees, either in Shantaras, means neutral, like the trees, plants, river and all that. And there is a Dasyaras as master and servant, Sakyaras as a friend, and then Vatsalyaras as a mother and child, and Madhuryaras as lovers. So these are very prominent 5 rasas in the spiritual world. But there are also secondary rasas like Raudra rasa, Bhayanaka rasa, Virya rasa. The Virya rasa means the Lord likes to do some fighting. So one may wonder, really, how can God want to fight? Because you all will see that even we get sometimes thrill when we watch a movie when there is a fight. Is it not true? Like sometimes you see that towards the end of the movie, of course in the beginning there may be some romantic activities, and then finally when the end of the movie comes, there is a stunt scene where you find the hero is on the top of a hill and there is a villain, and then they're fighting, and everybody gets charged by seeing the fight. And sometimes the villain kicks the hero, and the hero is about to fall off the mountain and he is holding only with his 2 hands. And the villain takes his boots and crushes the fingers. Everybody is gripping their seat. What's going to happen? Sometimes you kick your neighbor also. Sometimes. Isn't it? Of course, anybody who has seen many movies knows very well that it is not going to last for a long time. Very soon the fellow will come back to the top and then villain will be defeated. Correct or not? But do we get thrill or not? What do you say? So therefore, why are we getting thrill? Because Lord gets thrill in this type of stunt, fighting. This is one of the rasas called Virya rasa. So, for example, karate or kung fu, judo, or kushti, boxing. So when you see why millions of people are watching them, because the living beings have a tendency to watch this type of stunt. One of the rasas it is. Rasa means the loving exchange done with the Lord in varieties of ways, and this is one. But the problem is, in the spiritual world, nobody wants to fight with him. It's very difficult. So, therefore, Prabhupada gives a very nice example. Like a king sometimes, arranges a wrestler who is appointed by the king, and he pays him some monthly salary and tells him, come, let's have a wrestling match. So then the king and the wrestler, they are having a wrestling match, and the queens are sitting and laughing and watching, clapping hands. Ministers are watching and many others are watching. So the wrestler is not enemy of the king, but he is appointed by the king. For what? For the king's pleasure. King likes to fight. So if king made a good move, everybody may clap hands and appreciate. King just wants to enjoy that. Just like you like to, request your mother, please make some gulab jamun and give, and then you may eat and you may enjoy. That is one type of enjoyment. Motherly love you may appreciate. Similarly, friendly love you may appreciate. Similarly, master-servant relationship one may appreciate. But this is another type of similar feeling, which is having a, fighting. Sometimes friends also do that, correct, no? Sometimes amongst friends also they to catch the hand, they fight. In India, I've seen that, correct, no? They are not enemies. They are not going to kill one another. They are just trying to see who can exert more. Because they are friends. Similarly, Lord is friends with his devotees. But the problem is, in spiritual world, no devotee is ready to fight with him. At the most, they may take a lotus and throw on him, that's all. The Lord thinks, so what I can do? Okay, let me go to the material world taking my devotee. So Lord brought his devotee, Bhishma, to this world. And then he said, you be on that side and I'll be on this side. And in the war, I'll become a charioteer of Arjuna. And then you be on the side and then we will have fun. We'll have fighting fun. That was Lord's plan. You see, when we request someone to play such a role for villain, many people don't like. In Pune, once we had a Ramanami, very beautiful drama. So we requested one man who was a little plumpy fellow and he had a big moustache, like this moustache. Sometimes people in South, they keep a moustache like this, the ball type of thing, 2 balls here. So we found out this fellow is very suitable for Ravana's role. So we requested him, hey, can you please, he was, I think 1 or 2 rounds he was chanting. So we requested him, can you play the Ravana's role? He said, no. He was waving his hand very head fastly and said, see, if you can give me Rama's role, I can act. But I can't act in Ravana's role. Because even after the drama is over, people will always say, Ravan, they will say. So nobody likes to become a villain, correct or not? But he wanted to be Rama. But we said, problem is your your appearance doesn't suit Rama's role, you see. So, similarly, for Bhishma to be on the other side, enemy side, Lord is on this side, he has to be enemy. Only for the pleasure of the Lord. That's all. No other reason. And many people in the world do not know that. Why Bhishma is on that side. That's why Guhyam word is used. They know the confidential desire of the Lord. What does Lord want me to do? If this is what the Lord is telling me to do. Like Srila Prabhupada called one of his disciples to Vrindavan and told him to do the construction work in Krishna Balram temple. Counting the cement bags, loading them in the trucks and supervising the construction. So that devotee told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I came to India because you told Vrindavan is a spiritual world where Krishna and covered boys are playing in the forest. Krishna dances with the gopis. Cuckoos are cooing, peacocks are dancing. Yamuna is flowing like you see here in the top, very beautiful picture. In this side, yeah. So I came to Vrindavan to chant the holy name and have darshan of Krishna. And you are telling me to count cement bags. Prabhupada said, see, if you are a disciple, you should act for the pleasure of the spiritual master. Then Krishna will reveal himself to you. But if you have your own program of how to see Krishna, then you will not be able to attain Krishna. So Prabhupada said, when we complete this Krishna Balram temple, thousands of people will come, they will hear the Srimad Bhagavatam class and take the books, take prasadam, hear the holy name. So you can become instrumental in, distributing this Krishna consciousness to so many people. And by that the Lord says, anyone who helps me in reaching this message to people, they become very dear to me. So why am I telling you this example? We should not have our own program of what will make me happy. We should have a program of what will make my spiritual master happy, what will make Srila Prabhupada happy, what will make Lord happy. So Bhishma was thinking of his own program or Lord's program? Yes. So Lord said, you be on that side, let's fight. Okay, so be it. He never asked the Lord, what will happen to my good name? What will happen to my reputation? You want me to fight, I'll fight for your pleasure, but then I also want to make sure my name will be saved. No. Even at the cost of disrepute, if I have to please you, I am willing. Therefore is Mahajan. You can see that. So now when, although Bhishma was on Kaurava's side, his heart was always for the Pandavas. He had a very soft corner for the Pandavas. He told Duryodhana very frankly, you see, the Pandavas are all followers of Dharma and they are guided by the father of Dharma, Lord Shri Krishna. How do you think we can ever defeat them? But I will exert myself as a duty, I will do. So he praised the Pandavas. He always had a soft corner for them. So now he is lying today in the arrow bed, and Krishna told the Pandavas, the war is almost over. Come, let's all go to meet Bhishma Pitamaha before he leaves the body. And all of you dress yourself in gorgeous dresses with golden mukut and earrings and golden chariot. Why? He told them, Pandavas just did what Krishna said. They are simply like play toys in Krishna's hands. They are pure devotees, Pandavas. Okay, you are telling us to dress in gorgeous dresses and become kings of the world? We will become kings. You want us to go to forest for 12 years? We will go to forest. We are existing only to please you, that's all. Tat sukhi sukitvam. Tat sukhi sukitvam means getting happiness in Krishna's happiness. This is the Pandavas. So they all came and they surrounded Bhishma. I'll just show you the picture. So, you see, here is Lord Krishna, and you can see that Pandavas are sitting, Yudhishthira Maharaj is sitting down. Yeah. So, Lord is free from false ego, thus he can glorify his devotees. What is the first point mentioned here? Actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj, after the battle was over, he was lamenting that I am the cause of this ghastly war. So many millions of soldiers were killed. And Krishna said, you are not the cause. You sent me as a peace messenger. And Duryodhana and others, they didn't agree for even giving you 5 villages in return. They usurped your entire worldly kingdom. Therefore, the war was inevitable. So I only told you all to do the war. If at all there is any blame, the blame should be put on me, Krishna said, not on you. Still he was not pacified. Then Krishna told Yudhishthira, okay, you go to Vedavyas, talk to him. Vedavyas also convinced him. Still he was not convinced. He said, I am a very sinful person. So he was having self-pity. And then Krishna took him to Bhishma in the battlefield. So Krishna wanted to glorify Bhishma as more knowledgeable than himself also. Who is more knowledgeable, Bhishma or Krishna? But Krishna wanted to praise Bhishma as someone superior. Like sometimes in India, one farmer was telling, I am only a farmer, but my son is an engineer. So a father will be happy to praise his son, or he will feel some inferiority complex if somebody praises his son. What do you think? Krishna is also like that. He is a father of all living beings. If his pure devotees are glorified as better than himself, he feels very happy. Like you all know, Yashoda bound Krishna with the ropes, correct? To one grinding mortar. And then Krishna dragged that grinding mortar and came from rear end of the house to the garden where he saw 2 trees, correct, no? At that time, Krishna looked up in the sky and all the demigods were hovering in the sky. They were all watching Krishna bound by ropes. Generally in this world, if somebody is handcuffed by police, they will put their head down while walking on the road. I've seen in India, With their handcuffed, they put their head. Why they put their head down? They don't want anyone to see who they are, because it's a kind of shame. A bound person doesn't like to be seen by the public. Similarly, here Krishna is bound. Instead of putting his head down, he's putting head up and looking at all the demigods. Why? Because our acharyas have mentioned that Krishna looked at the demigods and said, "You demigods, you are all mixed devotees." Which means, as I told you, you are astik, you are not bhakta. You have a mixture of desire for dominating and desire for serving. But look at Yashoda. She is so pure that she could even bind me. Tomorrow, if you follow in the footsteps of Yashoda, even you can also bind me. And see for yourself. Like that, the Lord is showing himself in a bound fashion. So, Lord is presenting Yashoda to be superior to whom? Superior to himself. Of course, demigods, naturally. But Lord says that she is so powerful with her love for me that she could bind me. She has bound me with a rope. That means love can bind me. Lord is teaching to the demigods. So in the same manner here, Bhishma's love made Krishna give an opportunity for Pandavas to hear from Bhishma. So Krishna is taking the Pandavas to meet Bhishma Pitama. So he always contemplates on the desires of his pure devotees and fulfills them to see them happy. So Krishna wanted to show Bhishma, see the Pandavas, they are about to become kings of the world. These are the people whom you loved with your heart. Now they are going to become the king. So here Bhishma was thirsty. So Arjuna is sending an arrow to the ground and then supplying water to him continuously. So in this way they are all going and meeting him. See, Krishna is called as Dina Bandhu or Bhakta Vatsala. He knows the innermost desires in the heart of the devotees. So he touched their heart. So in this way, although Krishna is very mighty, he can do everything himself. Imagine if Krishna took the Sudarshan Chakra, the war would not have lasted for 18 days. In one moment he can finish the whole battle. And then Mahabharata book will become very small. It will say that Krishna released the chakra and the war was over. Whereas Krishna took how many days? 18 days. Arjuna is ordering him, please take me to the army, and Krishna is going. That's why Lord is doing that, because he wants to exchange the love with his devotees. There will be some interaction between them, because that's why it is said the spiritual world is full of pastimes of the Lord, where Lord and the devotee exchange love. That's the highest thing. Here you see, when Bhishma was watching, at one time Bhishma threw volleys of arrows towards Arjuna. So Arjuna's chariot was knocked down, the horses were knocked down. Arjuna fell off from the chariot, and Krishna also got down. And Krishna thought that Bhishma is in a very wild mood today. It seems to me that he is going to kill Arjuna, and I can't afford to allow that. Immediately he picked up one wheel of a chariot and above his head, and he rushed towards Bhishma like a lion charging towards an elephant, as you see in the picture here. So at that time Krishna's eyes were ridden with anxiety to protect his devotee Arjuna, and his hair was disheveled, and his upper garment was flowing down, and his dhoti was dazzling golden like a sunshine. So, and then see his left hand, and Bhishma became thrilled by watching this sight, because he is in which rasa? Veda rasa. Instant, everybody, especially those people who can enjoy the rasa of stunt, they will appreciate the movements, bodily movements. Like for example in karate or judo, you must have seen, the kind of movements you make are very important. So when he saw Krishna's this type of behavior, Bhishma says that, he said, this form of Krishna, let this remain in my mind always. He is relishing that beautiful form. So there is a very deeper point which I will not explain now. Krishna broke his promise by lifting the wheel of chariot because it was Bhishma's desire. Bhishma told Duryodhana that tomorrow I will finish all the 5 Pandavas with 5 arrows, unless Krishna breaks his vow. Like that he said. If Krishna doesn't break Krishna had taken a vow that I will not lift any weapon. That if Krishna told the Pandavas that today I won't lift any weapon, and if all of you have to die, what to do? And I have no other way. He didn't say like that. Krishna lifted the wheel of the chariot. So Bhishma told Duryodhana, what can I do? Krishna broke his promise, so I couldn't kill them. It's a very deeper point. But the point is, Prabhupada says, Lord taking the wheel of chariot and running is not to kill Bhishma. If Lord wanted to kill Bhishma, he would have taken a Sudarshan Chakra, as he killed whom? Shishupal. Here is the Leela. Playfully, Lord is taking the wheel and running. Just like sometimes in a home, say for example, a wife tells her husband that, today is my birthday, please come back by 7 o'clock. Then we will celebrate. And the husband comes at 10 o'clock. And then she becomes extremely upset. She doesn't talk. She's very morose and he's trying to pacify her. 1 week later, they have a marriage anniversary. She says, today if you don't come at 7, I'll kill you, she says. Do you think she will really kill him? She is resting a stick or something like this. So this is anger arising from love. You see. Similarly, Lord is lifting the wheel. It's like a pastime. It's not to kill Bhishma. You see. So see, Krishna shows extra favor to his devotees, Bhishma. The Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. Yet since I am his unflinching servitor, he has graciously appeared before me now at the time of death, he says. Tribhuvana kamanam tamala varanam ravikara gauravarambaram dadhane vapuralaka kulavritana nabjam vijaya sakera tirastumena vadya. He's telling, this beautiful form of Krishna has appeared in front of me because Lord Krishna knows that I am going to leave my body now. He has come to reveal his form to me so that seeing his form, if I leave the body, I will go back to Vaikuntha, spiritual world. He has come, he is so kind, graciously appeared before me, like that he says. Srila Prabhupada ki